You are here to remember, not to learn something new, not to collect another idea to carry with you. You are here to remember what was always true, waiting quietly beneath the noise. Breathe slowly now. Let the outer world soften for a moment. Feel the subtle weight of attention resting inside your own skull, as if a silent throne has been sitting there all along, waiting for its rightful occupant to return. Your mind is a throne, not a metaphor, not a poetic image, a living seat of sovereignty at the center of your being. And for a long time, that throne has not been empty. It has been occupied. Close your eyes for a breath if you wish. Imagine a vast inner chamber, quiet and luminous, its walls woven from the soft fabric of awareness itself. At the center of that chamber stands a throne, not of gold or stone, but of pure presence. It does not demand, it simply is. This is the seat from which your entire life has always been ruled. Every perception, every decision, every quiet knowing rises from here. The ancients knew this. They spoke of the ruling faculty, the hegemonikon, the seat of the self. The hermetic voice still whispers it. The all is mind. What occupies the center shapes the world that unfolds around it. Feel into this. Sense how natural it is for the throne to belong to you, how strange it becomes when you realize how rarely you have sat fully upon it. Most of the time, the seat has been filled by visitors, some invited, many not. Breathe again, slower this time. Let the truth settle gently, like mist descending over still water. You have been bombarded, not with swords or chains, but with endless streams of information, each one reaching for the throne. Headlines that tighten the chest, voices that speak in the language of urgency, images that claim to know who you should be, algorithms that study the shape of your attention and then weave themselves into it. Feel how subtle the occupation becomes. Fear arrives first, soft and insistent, and the throne is offered almost willingly. Outrage follows, hot and righteous. For a moment it feels like power, until you notice you are no longer the one directing the energy. You are being directed by it. Identity wraps itself around the seat. Once a story links itself to the sense of I, questioning that story begins to feel like questioning your own existence. That is how foreign rule becomes self-enforcing. That is how the occupant remains long after the original voice has gone silent. Repetition does the rest. What is repeated often enough begins to feel native. The mind, hungry for the familiar, mistakes the installed for the original. You are not broken for having allowed this. You are human in an age designed to keep the throne occupied. But you are also more than the occupation. Let this truth settle deeper now. When the throne is held by something that is not you, clarity thins. The difference between your own quiet knowing and the echo of someone else's agenda grows harder to feel. Your inner voice must speak through a crowded room. Agency softens. You move through the day, yet the movement carries a strange, second-hand quality, as if the decisions were made slightly to the left of your true center. Peace becomes elusive. Even in silence, residual threads continue to hum. Old programming still runs its quiet loops, and most tender of all, the capacity to know yourself begins to fade. If the seat of awareness is filled with content, you see only the content. You forget there was ever a one who could sit and simply witness. Many walk through life with a quiet homesickness they cannot name. They are living inside scripts they never wrote, yet cannot quite locate the edge where the script ends and they begin. Feel the weight of that for a moment, not as blame, as recognition. Now imagine the chamber again. The throne still waits. It has never left. Reclaiming it is not a single dramatic uprising. It is a slow, deliberate returning. It begins with seeing, simply noticing that the seat can be occupied and that it may currently be. That single act of recognition is already a reclaiming. Then comes the guarding of the gates. You begin to choose what is allowed to enter the inner chamber, not with harshness, with the quiet authority of one who remembers the throne is sacred. Not every voice has earned the right to sit at the center of your being. Not every narrative deserves a permanent place in the room. Silence becomes medicine. A throne room filled with constant noise cannot hear its rightful occupant. Create spaces of true quiet, not merely the absence of sound, but the absence of input. Let the chamber empty so the original presence can be felt again. Practice the gentle discrimination. When a strong emotion or belief rises, pause. Ask softly, without force, is this native or was it installed? Feel how the question itself begins to loosen the grip. Over time, the difference grows clearer, like mist lifting from a landscape you have always known but could not quite see. Choose your influences the way a sovereign chooses advisors, not the loudest, not the most popular, not the ones that simply mirror your current reactions, the ones that return authority to the center rather than claiming it for themselves. And finally, accept the weight. Sitting fully on the throne is not always comfortable. There is a certain solitude in it. There is responsibility. There is the absence of the familiar noise that once told you what to think and feel. Many touch this place and then step back. The occupation at least feels known. Sovereignty does not. But you did not come here to remain a tenant in your own mind. Go deeper still. If the mind is the throne, then the one who truly belongs there is not the personality, not the collection of opinions, not the social identity carefully assembled over years. Those are content. They may enter the chamber, they may even be welcomed, but they are not the ruler. The rightful occupant is the awareness that remains when every thought grows quiet. Feel for it now, not as an idea, as a living presence behind the eyes, beneath the commentary, older than every story you have ever told about yourself. Most of the occupation works by keeping you identified so completely with the content that you forget there is a seat at all. Reclaiming the throne, at its deepest level, is not about filling it with better thoughts. It is about remembering that you are the one who sits, not the furniture, not the visitors, you. Breathe into that presence. Let it settle like a soft, luminous weight in the center of the chest. This is not something you must become. It is what you already are, waiting to be occupied by no one else. You are not chasing sovereignty, you are returning to it. Your mind is your throne. No system, no platform, no ideology, no algorithm has a legitimate claim to it. They can only sit there by the continued permission of the one who was always meant to rule. The occupation is real, but so is the return. If these words have reached the quiet place in you that already knows, if you are ready to take the seat again, leave this simple affirmation in the comments below. My mind is my throne. Not as a slogan, not for the algorithm, as a quiet, deliberate act of remembering. Speak it inwardly as you write it. Feel the subtle shift as the words leave your fingers and return to the center. Sit with this. Do not rush toward the next piece of content. That would be offering the throne away once more. This is Ancient's Vault. We remember who holds the crown. And so do you.